Coming up tonight, government adamant in restoring normalcy. French government provides assistance. And Fiji's ambassador to Japan visits Japanese tsunami survivors. Good evening, I'm Sandra Asan. The aftermath of weeks of heavy rainfall in the Western Division was evident yesterday as silt and stench remained in most areas that were visited by the Prime Minister, Bainimarama, and the government delegation. But despite the hardships faced by the community in the West, government is adamant in ensuring that life for the many affected are returned to normalcy.
Despite the early morning downpour yesterday, the delegation first visited Vitongo District School, where thick mud silt has remained for the past 2 weeks.
Sir, it was quite an experience. As for me as a head teacher, the experience was huge because as we were trying to begin the school year and the flood happened. It was a challenge for me to make sure that when school started that everything would be normal again. But as we came along in the past 3 weeks, I think it was quite a challenge.
Similar visits were also made to Ndrasa Primary School, where out of the 250 students attending, 26 are still being accommodated at the Gurumit Center Evacuation Center in Lautoka.
3. Mickey Mouse is my friend. Come on. My friend. Let's go. My friend. Action. Mickey Mouse is my friend. He is my friend. Come on, Ndrasa. Mickey Mouse comes to school.
After paying a brief visit to students at Mba Muslim Primary School, the delegation then travelled further into the hinterlands of Mba to Nukulo College, where teachers for the past 2 weeks have been finding it very difficult to travel to school every day.
The teachers themselves have, the first day they came by boat, they came across in the boat, but it's very difficult for the lady teachers. They've got to board these boats and offload again. So they have decided to hire 2 4-wheel drives.
En route to the washed-away bridge at Moto, the Prime Minister also took time out to meet with rice farmers in the area, encouraging them to maintain consistency in what they were doing. At Moto, reconstruction work was progressing well to help relink the washed-away bridge, which has severely affected the livelihoods of the many members of the community in this sugarcane belt.
We're facing this problem and we can't just bring some groceries, we can't cross the bridge, the school children are stuck here, and we are workers, we are stuck here and we can't cross the bridge.
Heavy rain has also halted operations at the Rarawai mill in Ba, with debris and mud stench visible. Personnel from the Fiji military forces also began cleanup work at the mill this afternoon. Members of the Lautoka Chamber of Commerce also hosted the Prime Minister last night at the council chambers before presenting a cheque of $57,000 to help in government's relief work. The head of government, in reciprocating, expressed his government's appreciation at the continuous support by the business communities and the individuals in these most trying times for the nation.
Members of the Chamber of Commerce, on behalf of the government representatives here, and of course on behalf of the government and the people of Fiji, let me thank you most warmly for the kind donations you've given us today. There's no doubt this will be put to good use, there's no doubt about that. But I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. And, I'm always touched with the business community coming forward, or individual for that matter, coming forward and providing us with funding or gifts for that matter for the poor and the affected during our flooding, especially in the last couple of weeks.
A surveillance aircraft courtesy of the French government yesterday began its assistance with Fiji officials in providing extensive assessments of areas affected by the recent floods. The French Guardian continued its second flight today and focused on damages to infrastructure as well as damages to the country's agricultural sector.
Led by Lieutenant Colonel Anal Bozo, the surveillance crew also includes a military attaché from the French embassy in Suva. Lieutenant Colonel Bozo told Fiji News they are happy to assist with aerial surveys and they hope that their assistance will mitigate flood assessments.
Today we've been able to fly 2.5 hours with the Guardian aircraft, which was a success in our view, because we've been able to do approximately 88% of the objectives we had defined prior to the mission, and then we've added a series of additional opportunistic objectives, witnessing the fact that we've been able to assess that the areas are more or less okay. The Evans range are hit, seriously hit, and the area of Lautoka as well.
Lieutenant Bozo says they have carried out many operations of this nature in other countries as well, but despite the experience they got, they still have to thoroughly do their job, which is also completing their mission.
The rest, of course, many other floods that we've observed, and different places that will have to be taken care of in terms of sugar crops and pine and forestry landslides.
The surveillance crew will continuously update Fiji officials on their findings.
And the area we fly over, so we start in the Nadi part. Due to the weather, it was a good condition at the beginning of the flight, and after that, so we will fly over all this area until Semu village, and come back on Momi Bay and the village of Korokura.
Due to the bad weather condition experienced yesterday, the French Guardian couldn't assess the Tavua and Nandaribatu areas.
The Fiji Development Bank donated a check of more than $5,000 to the Prime Minister's flood relief appeal today. The check was handed over to the Ministry of Provincial Development Permanent Secretary Inia Seruratu. FDB Chief Executive Officer Deve Tonganivalu acknowledged the work of DISMAC from the last 3 weeks. He says the recovery part is underway and the Reserve Bank of Fiji's flood rehabilitation facility has been put in place, where FDB clients and non-clients affected in the recent floods are being offered assistance. $66,000 worth of assistance was provided to businesses and market vendors today who were affected by the recent floods.
Prime Minister Vorenke Bainimarama and Attorney General Ayar Said Kayum were in the Western Division today to distribute $66,000 as a form of assistance to businesses and market vendors affected by the recent floods. This includes Reki, Ba, Lautoka and Nandi areas. The funds will assist 124 small businesses through payment of license fees, which range from between $265 to $420 per affected small business for business license, occupational health and safety registration, National Fire Authority license, and health license. Government will also pay for stall fees of 370 market vendors, which range from $100 per market vendor in Ba and Rakiraki, and $50 per market vendor in Nandi, which will assist in payment of on average 19 to 55 days of stall fees.
Coming up after the break, taking Fijian-made products to another level. FSC's railway bridge in Ba open to traffic, and no typhoid outbreak for Fiji.